We now continue with In Search Of.
A startling theory has recently come to light, suggesting that a meteor impact could cause the end of the world. Scientists have long been perplexed by the abrupt disappearance of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Searching for clues to explain this mystery, researchers delved deeply into the ocean bottom. Drilling was conducted worldwide to collect samples of the prehistoric Earth. A layer of thin clay is the soil upon which the dinosaurs lived. Closer examination with microphotography produced startling results. Fossils of living organisms vanished in the layer above, seemingly proof of sudden extinction. Further investigation was conducted at laboratories in Berkeley, California. Scientist Frank Asaro subjected the samples to complex computer analysis. The amount of iridium was found to be nearly 200 times that of the other elements in the Earth sample. The scientists were amazed. Iridium, a rare metal, is never found in this great amount on Earth.
The unusually high abundance of iridium that was detected in the clay layer suggested that the iridium came from an extraordinary extraterrestrial event.
An asteroid is the only possible explanation for the incredibly high percentage of iridium. Could a meteor crater-like event have actually brought about an end of the world?
The asteroid impact theory envisions that an asteroid struck the Earth about 65 million years ago. This caused a tremendous explosion, possibly larger than 100 million megatons, and this erupted not only the asteroid mass, but perhaps 60 times its mass of terrestrial material, and a good part of this went into the upper atmosphere, possibly 17 trillion tons, and this spread around the Earth, turning day into night. About this time, some 75% of all living species became extinguished.
Yet asteroids are not the only threats. Comets, frozen bodies of ice and gas, twice in the last 80 years have exploded into the Russian countryside. Actual footage shows the aftermath of the 1908 Tunguska explosion. Dr. Eugene Shoemaker, world-renowned authority on cratering and recent electee to the National Academy of Science.
If an event like Tunguska were to happen today over a populated part of the Earth, that event would almost surely be perceived by the people and by the nation in which it happened as a nuclear attack. This event would look to people almost exactly like a nuclear explosion. The hazard is not from the direct effects of the impact or encounter with those small asteroids, but rather how they are perceived by man and how man will react to them. If that event happens over a nation that possesses nuclear weapons, will they respond? That's the hazard, and that's the unknowable.
Doomsday, apocalypse, Armageddon. Deep within the soul of humanity lies a primal fear. The fear of the total destruction of the Earth as we know it. The end of the world. Throughout time, we've always been at the mercy of nature's potentially catastrophic forces. Today, however, we hold the power to bring about earth-shattering holocausts ourselves. Can there possibly be a solution to these global problems? The infinite frontier, space, stretching endlessly upon itself. Could its mysterious vastness be part of the answer? Investigative research into the possibilities is being conducted at Princeton University. Dr. Gerard O'Neill, high-energy physicist and NASA consultant on space-related matters,
We're very, very fortunate because after all of the centuries of the development of human civilization, we're just in this critical period where the breakout of humanity into space can occur within the next 1 or 2 decades for us. Perhaps the most critical breakout that there could be thought of over hundreds of years of time. Because once that happens, the human race will be unkillable. No single natural disaster can wipe it out. And once that happens, all the other transitions going out throughout the solar system, eventually even to other stars, are far, far easier than this one critical breakout that we're about to make at this time.
NASA's space shuttle is at the forefront of present space technology. It is our first step towards the use of space as a refuge. This craft and others like it will one day be our galactic covered wagons to the stars.
The whole point about the high frontier of space is that it's a virtually unlimited resource of energy and materials. We're suffering increasing poverty here on the surface of the Earth, and it makes sense to go out and begin using that wealth of solar energy and of materials.
Huge solar panels, many square miles in area, could one day beam limitless energy through space. Solar energy is 8 times as efficient there and reliable 24 hours a day. Ironically, the asteroids we fear will one day be mined for their valuable resources of iron and nickel. To accomplish this, Dr. O'Neill and his colleagues have invented the mass driver, an intricately designed motor that converts electrical energy into motion at speeds exceeding 15 miles per second. It will accelerate mined resources to processing stations in space.
In evolutionary terms, it's a very natural thing for us to move out into the new environment of space and begin using the resources that are there. Humanity has always moved into new areas where natural resources could be found. In the long run, people are going to be moving out into space in considerable numbers. It turns out that the material resources that exist even relatively nearby are enough to build about 3,000 times the land area of the Earth in the form of space colonies. Going to a space colony would be, in the beginning, a little like taking a trip across the ocean by ship. It would take about 5 to 7 days of travel time in a very comfortable ship with its own artificial gravity.
At tremendous speeds, the transfer craft would jet far beyond terrestrial boundaries, penetrating into the profound silence of space. Through a zero-gravity corridor, one would begin moving down into the colony. A large valley would open out, possibly filled with lakes, trees, grass, and flowers. Unburdened by heavy industry, a colony could be a very sylvan, park-like environment. Each colony, supporting perhaps 50 to 100,000 people, could be unique. Work would be done in nearby modules, each a complete ecosystem, self-supporting and independent. Air, water, and other resources would be completely recycled. Constant access to the sun would give the ability to control the seasons at will. Giant hothouses would allow crops to be grown year-round. At first heavily dependent on the Earth, the colonies eventually would become miniature worlds of their own. Technological advancements would release us from many laborious tasks, which are presently a necessity. This would allow more time for personal creativity and experimentation. Dr. O'Neill believes that by the middle of the next century, millions of us will be moving out into space. The National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. chronicles the quest to expand our earthly limits, pushing beyond our boundaries, ever in quest of new challenges. What was impossible 40 years ago is commonly accepted today.